Hi, in this video, we're going to continue on with chapter 3, and this one's going to be averaging some test scores. So I'll get going here. What we're going to do is enter 3 test scores and then display the average. So this is tutorial 3.4. If you want to look that up in the book. Okay, so let's get okay, Visual C Sharp or Visual Studio, and then a new project. And scroll down and get that. We're going to call this test average and navigate to where I want to save this. And then create a folder, call it test average. My folder down here, select the folder and create. Okay, so we're going to enter 3 test scores and then calculate out the average of that. So we're going to have 3 labels to start with at the top with 3 text boxes, and then we'll have 2 labels, one to label what the label is going to be displaying on there. So let's do the ones at the top first. Okay, we'll line these up. Okay, we have the first one selected. I'm going to do Control key and select the other 2. Start up here at the, well, we can start right here. We're going to do middle right for the text align. And then the auto size I'm going to set to false. These are all pretty small, so the sizes on there are going to work out fine. So the first one, then we go ahead and do our text on these. This one's going to be test 1, and then do a colon on that, and then test 2, and then test 3. Whoops, I didn't want to double click on that. So we'll ignore that in the code. Okay, and then what I need are 3 labels, so we'll go ahead and get those. I'm sorry, 3 text boxes. We got the labels in there, so let's do the 3 text boxes. And get these lined up. There we go. Okay, so then the top one, and is going to be called test 1 text box. We're not going to have any text in it, so you can leave that empty there. Test 1 text box. Second one's going to be test 2, and the third one's going to be test 3. So test 2 text box, and then test 3 text box. Okay, so we got all those done there. Then what we need is our output description label and our average label. So I'm going to go ahead and do two labels to put in here, and then we'll put them in the position. Find where my mouse is. No, it's on there someplace. There we go. Okay. Line these up. And on both of these, I'm going to do auto size is false. And then I'm going to click off. Slide this one over here. I'm going to do this one first so I can see it. The border style, again, I'm going to pick Fix 3D. And I want to do text align as middle center. And then we'll take the text out because we don't want any text in there to start with. Okay. And then on this one, get this lined up with these over here better. There we go. And I'm going to do the text align on this one again as middle right. The text for this is going to be where I am here is average test score. Colon. And it's not enough room there, so let's see if we can take it this way. There we go. There, we got it in there now. Okay, average test score. So all that's lined up now. This needs a name. The name we're going to call this is average label. Okay. So we got all that set up. We're going to need 3 buttons. Click off here, and we'll put 3 buttons in here. These lined up down below here. And move this one over just a little bit more. And move this one over this way just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, first button. Run the name up here, so we'll change the name on it. This is going to be calculate button. And the text for this is going to be calculate average. Button 2, the text is going to be clear. And the name is going to be clear button. And then the third one is going to be our exit button. And the text is going to be exit. Okay, so I'm going to click on all 3 of them, starting over here, and then Control key for the other 2. And then I'm going to drag this down so we can get all the text on here. There. Okay. Shrink this down so it doesn't have a lot of that on there. It's a lot better that way. And so now what we're going to do is go ahead and enter the text or the code for the 3 buttons. Things set up here. Okay. So click on the calculate average button. Code for this is we're going to have 4 doubles. I'm just going to put them all on the same line. Test 1, test 2, test 3, and average. So then test 1 is going to be equal to double dot parse test 1 text box dot text. Test 2 is going to be equal to double dot parse test 2 text box dot text, and test 3 is going to be equal to double dot parse test 3 text box dot text. Okay, so we need to calculate out the average for these. We know there's only 3 test scores, so we're going to divide by 3 to get the average. But when we do the formula on this, average is going to be equal to, we have to put parentheses around this to add these up. If we don't, when it does the division, and actually we want to do 3.0 because we're using doubles for all these, so we want to stay consistent with that. But if we don't put the parentheses, it would divide test 3 by 3 and then add test 2 and test 1, which was not what we want to do. Okay, so we need to put that in the output on here. So we're going to do average label dot text is going to be equal to our average dot toString, and we're going to format it as N1, so one decimal place in here. Okay. And then we want to do a message box, or actually what we want to do is we want to put this into a try catch on here, because just in case we do something wrong, type something in wrong. So I'm going to go up here, and this will reformat for us, I'm pretty sure. Go up here, I'm going to put a try up here. Then we're going to put in a curly brace. Delete that one off. We're going to come down here after average. And then I think we're going to be putting in another curly brace right here. So it reformats it all for us. Then we're going to put in our catch. Which is going to be exception space EX. And then our curly brace for our catch, which is going to be a message box dot show EX dot message. Okay. So everything gets reformatted for us since I didn't put that in there at the beginning. But this will then catch if we for some reason type in a character instead of a double value on there or something. Okay. So let's go ahead and go back over, and we'll do the clear button. So we're just going to clear everything out with quote marks on them. So test 1 text box dot text is going to be equal to quote quote. Test 2 text box dot text is going to be equal to quote quote. Test 3 text box dot text equal to quote quote, and average label dot text is going to be equal to quote quote. And then the last one is our exit button. So we'll go back over to our design, double click on exit, and it's just this dot close. Okay, that should do it. So we're going to go ahead and test this out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in, here, there we go, 100, 95, and 90. Click on Calculate Average, and we get 95.0. Okay, but what happens if we mess up and we put in a string up here? ASFT, I'm just making something up. And we click on Calculate Average. We get a message box. Input string was not in a correct format. Now, it doesn't specify which one, so we would have to look and figure that out. I'm going to go up here and then put in 83 as my number and click on Calculate and get 83.3. Okay, clears everything. Oh, we missed one. So I'm going to exit out. See what I missed here. Oh, I got test 1 in here twice. Go in here and change that to a 2. And then start it again. So you always want to test things out. Make sure everything's working right. So I'll put in 76, 81, 87. Calculate. We get 81.3. Clears everything out. Exits out. So everything worked great on there. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So tutorial 3.5 is creating the change counter application. So we're going to close this one here off. And we'll get that here in a second. I'm going to get rid of that box there. I don't like that one. File, new project. Scroll down. I'm going to call this change counter. And then get our location where we're going to do this here. And select the folder, create. Okay, so what we're going to do on this one is we're going to put in 4 picture boxes. And then as we click on the picture boxes, it'll total up our money that we're working on in there. So we're going to start off with a label at the top. So I'm going to do my toolbox and do a label. And set this up like right in here. I'm going to do my text align as middle center. I'm going to do, oops, go up here, then we'll put the text in there. I'm going to change my auto size to false. And I'll resize that when I know where things are. I don't need a border on it. So, but I do want to change the font. So I'm going to scroll down here just a little bit and get into the font. And on the font on this, we're going to do Seago and do SE. And we want Seago UI, which is this one right here. I don't know what this one does or anything. Bold with a size of 10. Okay. And then the text we're going to put in here is going to be click the coins. Okay, so that fits in there. Everything works good on that. So I'm going to put in four picture boxes. Let's get those. Okay, I'm going to position them. And then select all of them so I can set the properties up on them before we put the pictures in. Okay. So first of all, I want to make these a little bit bigger. About like that. And then I'm going to set the size mode to auto size. Scroll down here and get this. There we go, to auto size. Okay. And then click off and go to the first one so we can set this stuff up. So we'll do the name first and then we'll do the image. So the name is going to be this one, 5 cents picture box. Then we need to put the image in here. Sometimes I miss those. There we go. Local resource import. And since we're dealing with chapter 3, I'll need to go to my source code chapter 3. And find there's the 5 cents. Okay, and okay. That's a lot bigger than what I thought. So I'm gonna have to move these two down here and it'll resize them automatically for us when we do that. So there we go. Okay. So go over to the next one. We can do the image first because we're already down here on the image. And that's going to be, again, local resource import. And it's going to be the 10-cent one, so we'll put that in there. Okay. And I'm going to go up here and we'll change the name on it real quick, which is going to be 10 cents picture box. Okay. Then we go to the next one. I'm going to have to drag this down here to get more room. Name is going to be 25 cents picture box. And the image will be the 25 cents. And then the last one will be, so we're on the image, we'll do it first. And this one's going to be the 50 cents. And the name. $0.50 picture box. Okay. We need an output description label and a total label. So I need to look at my form that I got already had created on here, see where those are going. Okay, so need two labels. One's going to go about here, and I'll put this one right above it. I'm going to make these the same size here, so I'm going to go ahead and select both of them. Just looking and checking things over a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to turn the auto size off on both of them, or change it to false on there. Um, I think that's the only thing on that we do on both of them. So the top one, then we're going to change the font to what we had on the other one. To the SEG Seago UI bold 10 point. I want to do text align as middle center, and our text label is going to be total. This is not being used in text or in the code. We don't need to change the name on it. So in the bottom one, then there's going to be no text in it, so I can delete that out of there. We want the border style, so I'm going to change mine to, like I said, I always use the fixed 3D on there. Okay, and then the text align is middle center on that also. Okay, so that's everything there. And all we need then is an exit button, because the calculations will be when we click on these. So I'm going to go to the toolbar and button. Move it down here. Text will be exit. And the name will be exit button. I don't think I put a name on this. Nope, I didn't, so I need to go back and do that, because if I don't put a name on there, then it's going to be called that label whatever, and I don't want that in there. So the name is total label. Okay, so I think we got everything in here. So we're going to go ahead and do the code for this. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to have 4 constants. Those are going to go up. Let's go ahead and we're going to need this one anyway, so I'm going to click on it. So that's in there, but we're going to go ahead and put this code in here. And the constants are going to go right under the form1 form. So I'm going to click right on that, the end of that curly brace, and then we'll put these constants in here. CONST decimal. And then I usually do constants in uppercase, separating each word with a underline. So 5 cents value equals 0.05 M. Constant, decimal, 10 cents value equals 0.10M. Constant decimal, 25 cents value equals middle of video. Okay. Bye. Sorry about that. My wife called me. This one needed a period up here that I missed. 0.25 M, and then constant decimal, 50 cents value be equal to 0.50 M. Okay, so those are constants. So now we need to get the rest of the code in down here, and it's going to be for the oh, wait a minute. I think there's one other thing we need. Yep. Underneath this, we're going to have a global variable, which I don't like using, but we'll do this so you can see how this works. We're going to do a private decimal total equals 0M. Okay. We need that in there because as we move from method to method or event handler to event handler, we'd lose that value each time that we did that. So we went and we want to keep a running total on this. So under the 5 cents, total plus equals 5 cents value. Okay. Down here. And then total label dot text equals total dot toString, and the only difference is we want to go in here and put in a C. Okay. Then we go to the 10 cents. We'll go over here and double click on the 10 cents. And this is going to be the same thing, except we're going to change the 5 cents to 10 cents. So all we have to do is change this. I'm going to do this here. There we go. Everything else is the same on it. Then we can go back over here and do the 25 cents and just change the 5 to 25. Just have to put a 20 on the front of this. Character in there I don't want. There we go. It's underlined. So I'm wondering if I misspelled 20 on the other side. So let me go over here and check. Oh, it's not on there. That's right. Go back to the code. Be on my constant. Yeah, I did 20 file instead of 25. So we go in here and change this to a V. And now it's not underlined anymore. Okay. And so then we need one more. Back over here, 50. And we just need to change the 5 here to 50. Okay, that's all set. We just have to do our exit button. This dot close, and let's test it out. Okay, so we click on the 5 cents and we got 5. Click on the 10, we got 15. 25 gets us up to 40. 50 gets us up to 90. $5.95, 10, $1.05. Everything seems to be working great. So I exit out, and that takes care of that. So it gives you some idea how you can use the picture boxes in there to do some calculations. Got constants in there, and the global variable that we will not be using hardly at all in this class. So if you're taking the class. So anyway, hope this helped you out on things. Bye.